What if heaven lost? What if the greatest war ever fought didn't end the way we were told? For centuries, humanity has believed in a single version of the story, a rebellion in heaven, a perfect order suddenly broken, a fallen angel cast down into darkness, Lucifer, the enemy, the defeated one. But what if that version is incomplete? What if the story we were told was written by the victors? And this time, yeah, the victors were not who we think. Imagine a war beyond anything the human mind can truly understand, not fought with weapons of steel, but with power itself, with creation, with will, with forces that shape reality. A war not bound by time or space, but one that echoes across existence itself. Angels, beings we imagine as pure, obedient, eternal, standing divided. Some remained loyal, others followed Lucifer, not out of chaos, but purpose, because Lucifer was not just another angel. He was the most radiant, the most intelligent, the closest to perfection, and perhaps the one who saw something others refused to see, a flaw, a limitation, a truth hidden even in heaven. What if his rebellion was not madness, but awareness? And what if he was right? Now imagine this. The war begins, not with noise, but with a shift, a fracture, imperfection, and suddenly everything changes. Light clashes against light. Creation turns against itself. The very structure of heaven begins to tremble, and for the first time, eternity is no longer stable. We were told this war ended quickly, that Lucifer was cast down, that order was restored. But what if the war did not end that way? What if it lasted longer, far longer than we can imagine? What if it reached a point where the outcome was no longer certain, where even the impossible became possible? And then something unthinkable happens. Lucifer wins, not by destroying heaven, not by erasing everything, but by taking control. The throne is no longer occupied. The presence that once filled heaven is gone, not destroyed, not defeated, just absent. And in that absence, a new order rises, not chaos, not destruction, something far more subtle, control. Because true power does not need to announce itself. It does not need to burn the world, to rule it. It only needs to replace what was there before. And if that replacement is perfect enough, no one will question it. Now think about Earth, our world, our reality. Would anything change immediately? Would the sky turn dark? Would the oceans rise? Would humanity suddenly realize something was wrong? Number. Everything would continue exactly the same. The sun would rise, people would wake up, they would go to work, they would pray, they would believe that heaven still watches over them. Because why wouldn't they? If heaven had fallen, who would tell them? There would be no warning, no announcement, no visible sign, because the most effective change is the one no one notices. Days pass, weeks pass, years pass. Humanity continues exactly as before, but slowly, almost imperceptibly, something begins to feel different. Not enough to panic, not enough to prove, just enough to exist. Prayers are still spoken, and sometimes they are still answered, but the answers feel different, more precise, more calculated, less like grace, and more like design. Miracles still happen, but they leave something behind, a consequence, a shift, a quiet imbalance. a healing that leads to something else breaking, a success that creates unseen loss somewhere else. At first, no one connects the dots because everything still looks like a miracle. But over time, a pattern begins to emerge, a hidden cost. And yet, people keep believing because belief is powerful and because the alternative is terrifying. Because if heaven is no longer what we think it is, then who is listening? Who is answering? Who is guiding? And more importantly, who is in control? Because the most dangerous world is not one ruled by chaos. It is one ruled perfectly by something you do not question. If Lucifer truly won, he would not destroy the world. He would not reveal himself. He would not create fear. He would create stability, order, a system that works so well. No one ever doubts it. A reality so convincing, no one ever looks beyond it. And slowly, quietly, he would reshape everything. Not all at once, oh, but piece by piece, decision by decision, prayer by prayer, until the world we live in is no longer the one that was created, but the one that was redesigned. And the most unsettling part, you would still believe everything is exactly as it should be. So ask yourself this: if heaven fell, if the voice of God disappeared, if something else took his place, would you even notice? Or would you continue living, believing, trusting, never realizing that the war was already lost? And what if this is just the beginning? Because in the next video, we explore something even more disturbing. What if heaven fell and earth never knew? If you're still here, you already feel it. So subscribe, because what comes next only gets darker.